Hi, guys and ladies. Welcome back to another exciting episode. My name is Disama Matieti. This is episode number 25 of the Being an Analyst podcast. Our podcast aims to inspire ordinary people or ordinary analysts or novice or seasoned analysts into expert analysts. Doesn't matter where you are along the journey, we are here to walk with you to becoming an expert analyst. What we're going to be discussing on episode number 25 is actually looking at the benefit of strategically analyzing or strategic placing cybersecurity in terms of helping out with business informatics. So we're looking at cybersecurity as a game changer for business informatics. That's what we're going to be discussing just after our theme song. So stay tuned. I'd like to constantly thank you for coming over here and being able to listen to this podcast. This podcast I actually made so that we can be able to share information, so that we can grow together. We go through all the comments that are coming through. This one about cybersecurity and business informatics was one of the questions that came through. And it's quite amazing that over the years, we've seen the link between companies or organizations that actually take cybersecurity seriously, as well as how they grow in terms of, because of cybersecurity, how they grow into becoming some of leaders within analysis itself. I must admit, half the time, those cybersecurity methods that are put in place, or controls or procedures, half the time they used to irritate me. But along the way, as soon as I went in and I understood what cybersecurity is, then I really started understanding the bigger picture, especially when it comes to business informatics. But before we start, let's just our podcast is going to be split into three portions. We're going to be discussing what is business informatics so that you can understand that. After that, we're going to have another segment that's going to be talking about cybersecurity. And then after that, we're going to be talking about some of your feedback so that you can tell us what you think. You don't have to worry. This is actually packed with informative information. It's quite informative, I meant to say. So what is business informatics? Let's just start with the first segment. Business informatics is also known as business information systems or management information systems. I think we already know those terms. They've been with us for quite a while. MIS, BIS, that could also be another term for business informatics. Is a multidisciplinary field that combines elements of business, management, and information technology, or IT. So we know it doesn't matter which department you work on, as long as you are now putting in management and information technology, meaning that you're using information technology to actually drive decision making. You are now dealing within the realm of, or within the space of business informatics. It also focuses on the effective use of information and communication technologies, or ICT, to support and improve business processes, decision making, and organizational performance. This makes it quite important if you know how to manipulate or how to actually become a player in business informatics. Makes it quite important. It's a quite important role, and individuals that are playing that role become very critical. This is where analysis come in. Doesn't matter which department you're coming from, doesn't matter what role you're playing. All we have to do is, if you have information technology, you have a management component, and you are within the business, you are talking about business informatics. In the essence, or in another word, business informatics involves the application of IT solutions to address business challenges and achieve strategic objectives. Business informatics plays a crucial role in helping organizations leverage technology to optimize operation, enhance customer experience, and gain competitive edge in today's digital economy. So you can hear just from there, it doesn't really matter which department you're sitting on. Half the time I would be getting requests that says, where does analyst sit? Is it an IT function? Where does analyst sit? Is it a business function? Is it a finance function, or is it a marketing function? And I always said, pick one name. It doesn't matter even if you pick a business analyst. You have a business analyst that sits in finance, you have a business analyst that sits in IT, and you have a business analyst that sits in operation, and they are performing differently, even though they are falling under business informatics. When it comes to analysis, you could be anywhere else within the organization with the same title. It still fits you, because you're doing the same, more or less the same process of taking raw data, turning it into information, and turning that into insights. So it requires the blend of business acumen, technical expertise, and problem solving skills to effectively address the complex challenges and opportunities at the intersection of business and technology. That summarizes it quite well. Let's look at the 7 things that actually can actually explain business informatics. First one, activity that you know is quite prevalent and we know about it, is data management. Why? Because you have to use data all the time. When we're talking about data, it doesn't really mean that analysis is all about data. It can be anywhere. So data management, it's about managing and analyzing data to extract meaningful insights that support decision making processes. All of that has to do with data management. Also, second one is information system development, which is designing, developing, and implementing software applications and system tailored to specific needs of organizations. So once you are in that place, you are still, doing an activity of business informatics. The third one is the ERP, or enterprise resource planning, which ERP is about implementing integrated software solutions that streamline business processes across various departments, such as finance, human resource, supply chain management, etc. The ERP is quite huge, but working with ERP, or the implementation of ERP and the operation of ERP, also forms part of business informatics. The fourth one is the one that we all know about, and we talk a lot about it, is business intelligence, which is all about leveraging data analytics tools and techniques to gather, analyze, and visualize data for strategic planning and decision support. Analysis is not just business intelligence. Analysis is all the 7 things that we're talking about. So not just the 4. Okay, the other one, the fifth one, we're looking at e-commerce and digital marketing, where we are utilizing online platforms and technologies to conduct business transaction, reach customers, and market products or services. That can also include business informatics, and it's a good platform for us to know about, to actually implement our analysis skills within that space. The sixth one is it's all about IT governance and risk management, as we have spoken about it in episode number 22 and 23 and 24. That is the another nice function that we as analysts could actually be involved in. It's about establishing the policies, procedures, controls to ensure that the effective and secure use of IT resources while managing risk associated with the technology itself. So you can see our job is not just to extract ourselves out of the situation, but to actually be involved, sit there, and then understand how could we add more value in creating IT governance and risk management. The last one that we are talking about in this episode, it's about strategic IT planning. So aligning IT initiatives with organizational goals and objectives to drive innovation, competitiveness, and growth. And that is where we are saying to ourselves, how could cybersecurity become a game changer when you're doing strategic analysis or strategic IT planning. So that's the core function of that. Because why? Because all of that falls part of this big umbrella that we call business informatics. So while we are there, let's just take a quick pause. Let's just do a quick poll, just looking at what you're going through. I'm just going to ask a quick question. um, Whatever you're driving, whatever you're taking a walk, or you're just sitting down straight at your desk or wherever you are on your couch, just let's do a quick poll where you can actually just in your head just think about it, to say how often do you um, you know how often do you go ahead and help with the following uh, best practices of of cybersecurity. First one is implementing of strong passwords. Second one is regular updates of whatever tools that you're working on. The third one is firewalls and antivirus. Do you have them? Fourth one is data encryption. The fifth one is access control. Access control meaning that you're stopping people from knowing what you're going through. So, how often do you implement any of these best practices? First one is strong passwords. I know our organizational policy often reminds us to use strong and complex password, so that we have unique passwords that are multi-factored. All of those fun things. Do you do that often? Um, Second one is regular updates, which is keeping your software, your firmware, and your security patches up to date. Irrespective, as analysts, we have the work pressure, and we always go around. I don't have the time right now. Irrespective of those work pressures, how regular or how often do you apply regular updates? The third one is firewalls and antivirus, implementing firewalls and antivirus to filter and detect malicious activities. I know on our site, I get a lot of people saying, I sent you an email, but I have made my filtering so strong that some emails do not even make it through. How often do you do that? That's on number three, firewalls and antiviruses. The fourth one is data encryption. Encrypt sensitive data when sharing insights and reports to protect it from unauthorized access. That whole point. I used to do this a lot, and people used to get irritated with me. We would uh, encrypt files into PDFs and send it to them with a password, and they would swear at me to say, "We are in one organization. Why are you hiding information?" How often do you do that? If you do it at all. The fifth one is access control, where if you are publishing reports, like you're using Power BI or you're using Excel or whatever, Tableau, whatever the case is, that you are implementing raw level security to limit access to sensitive information based on role or user permissions. How often do you do that? Just want us to reflect on it just for a second. Are we implementing the best cybersecurity practices? Well, we haven't even gotten to that point where we can answer that point. We haven't gotten there, but let's go into our segment right now. So when we go into the segment, this is where we actually trying to talk about the strategic positioning in cyber-ready organization. Is it going to help? Well, cybersecurity is not merely a defensive measure. It's a strategic asset that underpins organizational resilience and competitiveness. When cybersecurity is woven into the fabric of an organizational strategy, it becomes a catalyst for innovation, growth, and trust. I don't know if you want to agree with me on that one. I feel like I just came out with one of the best lines. I feel like that's it. But let's go ahead and look at it. Strategic positioning in cyber ready organization. You can expect the following if you are working with cyber ready organization. You can expect one, risk mitigation, because as you are doing cybersecurity stuff, you have to do proper risk mitigation. We've done that with COVID, we've done that with the ISO framework and standards. By proactively identifying and mitigating cyber risk, organization can safeguard their reputation, customer trust, and bottom line. because when customers know that they are trusted, you can always be able to charge a premium for whatever you are selling. Remember that whole debacle that happened when the hackers went into Apple, and then I was on and off the Apple phone at the time to say, do I have to use iCloud or not? And you remember the stock also did a little dip at that time, and because we were just asking ourselves, is this, you know, can this happen? Because we always thought that Apple can never be hacked. Now that can actually impact the bottom line, depending on what you have and the trust of us as customers. The risk aware culture fosters a strategic mindset that prioritizes resilience and sustainability, because when we have the proper things in place, we have the proper policies in place, the proper procedures in place in analyst teams, we can actually help the organization mitigate a lot of risk. Think about the poll that you just thought about. Any of those five things can actually help us enhance our reporting or destroy our reporting completely. So any of those five things can be able to come to our detriment. Regulatory compliance with data protection and regulation and industry standards is a non-negotiable in today's business landscape. We've seen that with the ISO, with the COVID, as we spoke about it. Those are the standards. You have to adhere to the standard, otherwise the body is going to be in trouble. So organizations that prioritize cybersecurity is not only meet regulatory requirements, but also gain a competitive edge by demonstrating their commitment to data privacy and security. And that's what we're playing as analysts. It is a lot irritating, especially when you have to be told that you need 17 passwords just to do the normal report that you used to do, and your report is now becoming late. I know it is irritating, but it has to do everything else with regulatory compliance, and it has to do everything else to do with risk mitigation. And the last one, it's all about business continuity, because in an era of in an era marked by cyber threats and disruption, ensuring business continuity is paramount. Cyber ready organizations have robust incidents response plan in place, enabling them to mitigate disruptions swiftly and maintain operations without compromising strategic objectives. So we are able to help with that by just adhering to the cybersecurity strategic plan. So the threat analyst team will come over here and they implement the policy, and other portions of the analyst, whether you're sitting as a data analyst or sitting as a whatever type of analyst, sitting in your own department, in your own field, you might feel some irritation, but whatever has been implemented by the security analyst is actually quite important for us to safeguard whatever we're going to be sending. And if we comply properly with whatever we are supposed to do, you can be able to share information freely within the organization. So let's look at that. Impact on strategy analysis and business informatics. Yes, let's look at that one. There's three things that can actually help us see the impact on strategy analysis and business informatics. The first one is data integrity and trust. In the within data strategy analysis, data integrity becomes quite important. It is paramount. Cybersecurity measures such as encryption and access controls ensure that integrity and confidentiality of data laying the foundation for informed decision making and making strategic insights. So all of that data integrity tells us that because we know that not a lot of people has got access to tamper with the data, we in the executive room, boardrooms, or in exco, whatever you want to name them, management will know that the information that's coming from us as analysts is to be trusted and is to be relied on, because nobody has ever tampered with that information. It is as true or as real as it should be. And we have the second one is around informed risk management. So when you're looking at informed risk management, they say cyber threats pose a significant risk to strategic initiatives. By integrating cybersecurity into strategic analysis processes, our organization can access cyber risk alongside operational, financial, regulatory risk, enabling informed risk management decisions. So for us doing those risk management, I know we're doing that, the risk management metrics, we are able to say, oh, if things go wrong, we know that this reports will be impacted. I don't know if you've been asked to do that at work, but within my almost 2 decades, I used to do that all the time. I used to be asked, what tables are important, what processes are important, which reports are important, which cubes are important, that if something happens, a hacker goes into the server and then deletes those tables, what's going to be impacted? And I'll say, I'd created that whole maze to say this table links to this report, this one links to that report. And as a whole, at the time, I wasn't understanding. I was like, I'm supposed to do month end because I was sitting in finance. I was supposed to do month end. Why are you asking me this irritating things? But now I understand it perfectly. Last part is it enhance stakeholder confidence. Stakeholders' confidence is essential for driving strategic initiative forwards. Organization that prioritize cybersecurity inspire trust among stakeholders, fostering stronger relationships and creating competitive advantage in the market. Now that you have an idea of, how does cybersecurity, it seems quite small, cybersecurity, how does cybersecurity help us doing our business informatics? And the question is, are you going to now, become a champion for cybersecurity within your organization? Or are you going to be saying, you know what, let me just push back a little bit, I'm not ready for this cybersecurity stuff, it's too much for me? Or you're gonna come back and say, you know what, I'm willing to be the change agent. I'm willing to be the one who's going to be pushing the cybersecurity conversation further. I would like to hear your comments wherever you are. Take a moment and comment. And while you are there, please feel free to share this podcast episode with your friends, with your colleagues, so that we can grow the community together to make it bigger. While we are there, appreciate all the people that are coming through to our newsletter. We're having every day, we're getting new people subscribing to it, and even more people going into our WhatsApp group. If you want details of those, you can go to our website, or you can just follow me on LinkedIn, Disama Matsietsi on LinkedIn, and you can be able to get all the links that goes to all of that, where you can follow us and you can interact with us, you can talk to us. It's actually becoming a bigger community, and it's exciting, and I need you and your views every day as we are shaping each other's perspective based on what we are seeing. That's it for today. Let's meet again in episode number 26. Stay blessed.